Trade is the engine of the global economy, powering the movement of goods, services, and ideas across continents. Every day, millions of products cross borders, connecting distant nations and shaping our daily lives in ways we often take for granted. The prices we pay for everything from cars to groceries are influenced by these global flows, affecting not just what's on the shelves, but also what we can afford. When trade flows smoothly, economies thrive, businesses expand, jobs are created, and consumers benefit from greater choice and lower prices. But when those flows are disrupted, the effects ripple through every level of society, from boardrooms to kitchen tables, leaving uncertainty in their wake. In late 2022, solar identity vans, what he gave by retigns by quarantine. She's a dentor dines. Sor umber and spur. Aggressive use of tariffs to reshape global commerce put this delicate system to the test, challenging long-standing trade relationships and economic assumptions. The administration argued that past trade deals hurt American workers, insisting that tariffs would make foreign goods pricier, encourage consumers to buy American, and ultimately boost U.S. manufacturing and job growth. This bold strategy sparked global uncertainty. Markets swung wildly with every announcement, businesses hesitated on investments, and allies scrambled to adapt to the new reality. Some praised the move as overdue, believing it would restore fairness. Others warned of a looming trade war and the risk of a global recession. The standoff with Japan, a key U.S. ally, became a defining moment, highlighting both the potential rewards and the serious risks of using tariffs as leverage in international negotiations. The freeze of a major U.S.-Japan trade agreement sent shockwaves worldwide, raising urgent questions about the future of free trade and the stability of the global economy. This isn't just about politics, it's about jobs, prices, and the world we all live in. The choices made at the highest levels of government can shape the everyday reality for millions, making this a truly high-stakes balancing act. President Trump's America First trade policy aimed to rewrite the rules, arguing that the U.S. had been shortchanged by global deals. Tariffs became the main weapon, taxing imports from China, Canada, and even allies to pressure them for better terms. The administration believed short-term pain would lead to long-term gains for American industry. Supporters pointed to protected jobs in steel and aluminum, hoping for a return to Made in the USA. But other countries hit back with their own tariffs, sparking a cycle of retaliation and uncertainty. Businesses faced higher costs and lost export markets, while economists warned tariffs could backfire on American consumers. By fall 2025, after a tense truce with China, the focus shifted to Japan, culminating in a high-stakes negotiation. The resulting deal was meant to be a signature achievement, but the story was far from over. The world watched as the next chapter unfolded. In October 2025, the US and Japan signed a major trade and investment agreement, capping months of intense negotiations and high-stakes diplomacy between the two economic giants. But just as the deal was finalized, Japan's new Prime Minister, Sanae Takaichi, made a bold announcement. There would be no further renegotiation, no matter the pressure. This freeze locked the agreement in place. No more changes, no more concessions. The terms were set in stone, signaling a dramatic shift in Japan's approach to international deals. Under the agreement, Japan committed to a $550 billion investment fund for U.S. projects, while the U.S. imposed a 15% tariff on Japanese imports. The stakes were enormous for both sides. For Japan, the freeze brought much-needed stability for its businesses and signaled a new assertiveness in global trade. Companies could finally plan for the future without fear of sudden policy shifts. Prime Minister Takaichi's move drew a clear line. The era of endless U.S. demands was over. Her leadership style was seen as decisive and unyielding. The timing was strategic as the U.S. juggled disputes with China and Canada, leaving Washington with limited leverage and divided attention. By freezing the deal, Japan removed a key bargaining chip from Washington's hands, making it clear that Tokyo would not be pushed around. It was a subtle but powerful message. Even close allies were growing weary of constant uncertainty and shifting expectations. The freeze showed that Japan could protect its interests and push back, even against its most important partner, setting a precedent for others. This marked a turning point in how nations respond to U.S. trade pressure, inspiring other countries to reconsider their own strategies. The world took notice. The rules of engagement were changing, and the balance of power was shifting in unexpected ways. The US-Japan standoff became a case study in the new era of global trade, where even the closest alliances are being redefined by bold, strategic moves. The frozen US-Japan trade deal is a study in trade-offs, revealing the delicate balance between economic opportunity and protectionism. Japan pledged $550 billion in investment for American industries and infrastructure, a win touted by the White House as a major boost for US jobs, manufacturing, and long-term growth. This influx of capital is expected to modernize key sectors and create new opportunities for American workers. In exchange, the US locked in a 15% tariff on Japanese goods, including cars and electronics, making it more expensive for Japanese products to enter the American market. The tariff aims to protect US manufacturers and generate revenue, but it also raises prices for American consumers and businesses, who may feel the pinch at the checkout counter or when buying new vehicles and electronics. Japanese companies face higher costs and potential loss of market share in the US, forcing them to rethink their strategies and possibly cut back on exports or production. Meanwhile, American firms that rely on Japanese parts will pay more, likely passing costs to consumers. Small businesses in particular may struggle to absorb these increases, leading to tough choices. The deal also includes cooperation on critical minerals, aiming to reduce reliance on China and strengthen supply chains for essential resources like rare earths. By freezing the agreement, Japan cemented both the benefits and the burdens for years to come, locking in the current terms and limiting future renegotiation. The impact will unfold slowly, affecting jobs, prices, and supply chains on both sides as industries adapt to the new rules and global competition shifts. It's a complex package, one that reflects the new realities of global trade, where every decision carries ripple effects across economies and everyday lives. High-level trade deals have real consequences for everyday Americans. The 15% tariff on Japanese goods means higher prices for cars, electronics, and more. Companies importing these products pass the extra cost to consumers, so a $30,000 car could now cost thousands more. Tariffs also hit American manufacturers who rely on foreign parts, raising production costs and prices. While some US jobs in protected industries may be saved, others, like farmers and exporters, suffer from retaliatory tariffs and lost markets. The economic effects are uneven. Some benefit, many feel the pinch. Ongoing government shutdowns and trade uncertainty add to the strain on families and businesses. For most Americans, the impact is felt at the checkout line and in a sense of economic unease. The promise of new jobs from Japanese investment is distant. The pain of higher prices is immediate. Trade policy isn't just a headline, it's a reality in every household budget. America's tough trade stance has triggered a global chain reaction. With China, a temporary truce paused a bitter trade war, but most tariffs remain, and tensions simmer. Relations with Canada soured after new tariffs and a diplomatic spat, disrupting one of the world's largest trading partnerships. In Southeast Asia, the US struck deals with Malaysia, Cambodia, and Thailand, aiming to protect American tech giants from digital taxes. These moves show the administration's preference for one-on-one negotiations, especially with smaller economies. Japan's decision to freeze its deal stands out, a middle path between open conflict and uneasy truce. Other countries are watching, learning that standing firm can be effective against US pressure. The world is adapting, forging new alliances and strategies in response to America first. The global trade landscape is shifting, and every nation is recalibrating its approach. The US is no longer the only one setting the rules. President Trump's trade policies have sparked resistance at home as well as abroad. In a rare bipartisan move, the Senate voted to end the president's country-specific tariffs, a direct challenge to his authority. While a veto is likely, the vote signals growing concern over the economic fallout from trade wars. The debate centers on who controls trade policy, Congress or the president. The Supreme Court is set to hear a landmark case on the legality of Trump's tariffs, with the president planning to attend in person. The outcome could redefine the limits of presidential power over trade. As the administration battles foreign leaders, it faces political and legal fights at home. The future of US trade policy may hinge as much on domestic politics as on international negotiations. As 2025 ends, Japan's freeze on its US trade deal marks a turning point. America First has brought investment and some wins, but also higher prices and strained alliances. For families, the biggest worry is the rising cost of living. Tariffs mean more expensive goods, while new jobs may take years to appear. Globally, the US is acting more independently, forcing other nations to rethink their strategies and alliances. The coming Supreme Court decision and political battles in Congress will shape the next phase of U.S. trade policy. The world is watching. Will the U.S. double down on disruption or seek new cooperation? For now, businesses and consumers must adapt to a world where trade rules are in flux. In this new era, uncertainty is the only constant.